Hi everyone, welcome back to Through Alchemy. So today's reading is going to be all about what has the universe been trying to communicate to you, what has the universe been signaling, considering the synchronicities or the signs that you're seeing, or maybe things that you're not able to recognize that your intuition may or may not be signaling towards. So we have four piles for today's reading from the left to right. Hello, pile number one. If you chose the Kiwi Jasper cube, this is going to be about reading. So we're gonna see. I have a few pre-shuffle cards. We're gonna see what has the universe trying to communicate. What has the universe been trying to communicate to you. There's something about strong Sagittarius energy, so this could relate to freedom. I'm also hearing peace of mind. I'm hearing freedom mind. So this is related to your heart chakra. This situation could be related to a love interest, or this could be related to a passionate endeavor, or this is something that is just true to you. This is something that is true to who you are internally. That's what I'm picking up over here. I'm gonna flip your card. We have the sixth house. This is about establishing a foundation, health, daily life, practical details. So I feel like there's something that is telling you that it doesn't make you very happy. I think there's something that your body has been telling you that it makes you pretty unhappy. I think that whatever the situation is, and for some of you, there's a very strong emphasis on a love relationship or a relationship or commitment to something that now spirit kind of tells you that this was a way for you to join the path that, like, you have always been on the path you're supposed to be. And that's what I strongly believe, that you're never really out of alignment, or you're never really on the wrong path. In a sense, you're taking maybe different roads to which you reach, or which reveals who you are. So all of them are right paths. um but I feel like wherever you were now somewhat is not what you, maybe you feel like you owe to it, or maybe you feel like you should stick with it. Maybe there's some sort of history with it where you feel like you owe to it. There's something like that, where you feel like you should stick by with this. Maybe it's like something that you committed to, now you don't want to, you feel like you shouldn't, or you just don't want to, you're not willing to. It's something that I see spirit being almost like, well, it's fine, if that was not the end goal, it was means to end. So that's what I'm really picking up over here. It's almost like spirit is asking you that, can you trust me? Universe is asking you, can you trust me, that even though right now you don't understand where you go from here, I think that is the kind of leap of faith they're asking you to take, because maybe you don't have the right answer in front of you. Maybe you don't know which path. It's almost like maybe you're walking a path, but you don't see an alternative. Maybe you just see that you stop following this path. It's almost like you're supposed to stay in stillness. You're supposed to perform stillness. You're supposed to halt till the time the other path shows up, because there's something you're supposed to develop or learn or feel when you're not walking or moving towards anywhere. It's almost like that, so to speak, delay that you're perceiving is actually preparation for where you need to move forward in life. And I think that the path you're almost like walking is something that doesn't define you anymore, or it's something that doesn't speak to you anymore. So there's some sort of realization that you will have once you actually stop, stop trying to figure it out. That's what I'm feeling. Because meanwhile, what you will do is something that will take you to where you need to be. It's almost like if you're pursuing a relationship that you feel like is not good for you anymore. Um, it's almost like you stop participating in it, or you actually go for a break. In the time that you don't have this person around, you will have certain realizations, and your pile's energy is pretty heavy because it's giving me pain in my third eye, which means that you are receiving certain downloads that you need to be in stillness. You need to be a little bit away from the noise, hustle, bustle of day-to-day lives, because there's too many opinions in your ears, or there's too many questions in your ears, or there's too much of thought in your head that needs to stop for a bit, which may seem surreal, but there's something about this over here that you need a little bit of alone time to actually realize what the universe is trying to communicate to you about your next path, about what you need to do. And you may be someone that wants a definitive answer, but if you want a definitive answer, I would say that what you do right now when you find this reading, and if you accept the advice, then it is that you need to spend a little bit more time to yourself. You need, and not listen to people that have XYZ opinions about what you should do, because you haven't been still enough, or um, you haven't been volunteering to listen to what you actually need to do. It's not that it will go away or those things won't happen for you. It's kind of like it's a process, right? And I don't want to make you feel as if you delay it, if you procrastinate on it, you're delaying it. Everything happens in its right time, and that's what I believe. So even if you go through procrastination about it, so to speak, the perceived procrastination, I don't think it's bad, because you will always just come closer to what you were supposed to do and feel what that procrastination was kind of trying to tell you. Does that make sense? So over here, I am picking up that you need more time to yourself. That's honestly whatever it is. It's like, I'm not going to be able to give you a set of instructions or a very detailed analysis or understanding of what spirit is delivering to me, because simply because this is something that is going to come in pieces of the puzzle. It's going to come in segments. That's what I'm picking up over here. It's going to come slowly by slowly when it does come, because there's something that you need to piece it together. That's what I'm really feeling over here. You need to be able to put it together, and it's going to take some time. I'm going to shuffle the deck to see what is spirit saying to you. What is the universe trying to tell you? I don't know if you're disassociating really often, because something in your reality is making you question yourself a lot. I'm going to take this card upright. The Devil. So you're thinking quite a lot, and it's impacting your health, is what I mainly see over here. The Capricorn energy. This could be related to your career. This could be related to your security. It could be internal or external security. It could be related to the path. It could be related to external possessions. It could be related to legal cases. It could be related to a home or a property, is also what I am picking up. You I honestly feel like there are certain parts to the story that will unfold slowly by slowly. There's something of that nature that I see over here that wants to unfold. If I had to personify that phase of your life, it would say the following, okay? That I will not make sense to you till the time you become the person that I need you to be, so you can achieve this, so you can actually have this accomplishment in your life. Um, and I know that this journey is not for the faint of heart, it's not easy because you simply chose that anything is better than being somebody that I'm not. Um, your integrity and your virtue relies in honesty to yourself. And right now, somewhere you're not being honest to yourself. Somewhere you're very confused with what other people expect out of you, or you disappointing certain people in your life, that makes you fear that they're going to stop appreciating you, they're going to stop respecting you, they're going to stop loving you the way that they do today because of how much you work. And there's something that you've been giving your attention to which may not be good for you, or which you keep considering it, maybe because it fits the idea of what an old version of you wanted. But what you are today is, I keep hearing that you keep lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself about something. And you need a little bit of time apart to really listen to which is the lie and which is the actual truth. Because the lie over here is understood as what your ego is telling you, what your conditioning may be telling you. And it can be so loud that sometimes we convince ourselves that that is our intuition. And I can understand how scary this concept can be, because sometimes you really question, like, how was I listening to my intuition, or was I listening to my um heart or my soul, right? And that's what you need a little time for. Well, your third eye, oh my god, it really hurts me. um I don't know if you have been falling sick, something related with health, with what you're forcing yourself to do. It actually makes you physically sick. I don't know if you're pushing yourself too much or too hard, because this hurts. Pile number one, this is giving me a headache, in the sense maybe you're overthinking, you're not able to sleep at night, or you're just actually falling sick. And there's something where you need to get a routine checkup for your health. You need to get your blood test done, and you need to check for basic levels, get your blood work done, check your vitamins, your supplements. For few of you, you really need to check, do a kidney test. You need to check that. I feel like your body is really telling you about some things that uh I'm hearing the words bracket. They're going out of that bracket. It's almost like maybe there's an amount of stress that is healthy, that the human body can take. But now that stress may be manifesting in as physical symptoms in your body. Especially I'm hearing something about the pineal gland, which is, I think, related to your solar plexus. Um and there's something very strong about your heart chakra, the Four of Wands. This is primarily the pressure that you feel coming from your family members. You care too much about what they think. You care too much about what they think than to listen to what your life may have for you. It's almost like you don't recognize that you're actually doing the best that you can with what you understand right now. And I think that you're taking out time to figure it out, or you should take out that time to figure out what you want to do with your life. Because it's possible, it is very much possible that you can create the life that you exactly want. Your reality can be of sorts. It can be exactly of what you want. It may not be easy, but I see that happening for you. Oh, I didn't mean to pick these two cards, but they are here. Do you see the amount of yellows that we have? This is like strong solar plexus. Give yourself that time. Stop trying to rush this process right now. You can and you will get where you need to be in right now. There's so much power in understanding you're exactly where you need to be, with all the questions, with all the worry, with all the anxiety. Perhaps a little bit of it is good, but there's something your body is signaling you that it's getting too much. And I think that that part of you is craving for faith, and that faith that you need will develop when you decide to commit to maybe a spiritual practice or a religious practice. There's a reason why people often bend to a force outside of themselves, or in this sense, inside of themselves. There's a reason why people like to believe in a force bigger than themselves, that it exists out there, because oftentimes people really need something to believe in themselves, and a lot of times they can't just directly do that for themselves, so they count on something that they think exists bigger than them, which can be a part of the universe, right? A universal force that reconnects them with themselves, if that was not too confusing. But it's almost like we need an image of something to worship, we need a definition of something to worship. um but in hindsight, it's that we all are a part of God consciousness. We do recognize we're a part of God consciousness, but to say that and to live that is a very different thing. And how we live that is actually by thinking that there's something bigger than us that exists out there, that we perceive most of the time to be externally available, not internally. It's almost like we'll try to look for it externally rather than internally. And that's why meditation or certain spiritual practices or religious practices actually help us reconnect with ourselves, because the human brain, almost if it's too attached to the ego in a sense, right, will not be able to perceive itself as godlike, will not be able to perceive itself as something that the force exists within. It needs something externally to push it. And there's nothing wrong with it. All people are healers. Some people just need other people to push them to activate their gift, and that's completely okay, right? So you may be in a struggling phase right now where you're trying to learn how to activate further more of what you need right now. I'm gonna take this card upright. Wow, we have worry. You're worrying a lot, right? I'm learning that worry doesn't change the outcome. So, you will practice faith. You should practice faith. You should learn faith. Learn faith. Maybe if that requires you to go back to your Bible, go back to your religious text. Um, Read whatever makes you feel calm. Do whatever makes you feel calm. I think that reverting back to your own spiritual practice will actually help you right now. It will actually bring you closer to what you need to believe in, to realize that things will be okay for you, because they will. And meanwhile, what this is indicating to you, the universe is indicating to you that situations may not change as quickly as you want them. The situation may not change as quickly as you desire them to change, but it's taking a toll on your body. It's taking a toll on your mental health. And that's what you need to calm down. That's what you need. That's where you need to transmute that stress into faith, that I am where I am need to be. I am where I need to be. I am where I am. Acceptance, that kind of acceptance, because there's maybe this um, direct link to your family's expectations for you, which makes you almost feel like I'm not where I need to be. So there's always this sense of like, I'm never enough. I'm never enough where I am. I can't rest by the book. I don't know whose expectations these are, but if you check in with yourself, you're kind of okay with where you are. Maybe it's like you want to show to other people in the society. Maybe you want to just show people like how valuable you are because you're always doing something. But your soul doesn't need that validation from other people. Your soul doesn't need that validation from other people to know that, hey, look at what I am bringing to the table. Your soul recognizes that you don't need to have a table. You're worthy, regardless of whatever you're doing, whether you're doing anything or not. So that's what I'm seeing. I think that this requires you to relatively go back a lot into your feminine energy, because the masculine energy is like, I need to do, I need to do, I need to do, I need to do so much, right? That's what I'm seeing over here. It must be pretty draining, right? I've been there. It's very draining. I'm gonna take this one. Ten of Cups. I'm gonna take this one in reverse. Do you see 10 tens? So one is of Pentacle and one is of Cups. Cups signify emotional contentment. Pentacles signify external security. So that is on your way. But what you need, I feel like what Spirit is kind of teaching you right now. It's almost like to learn to be enough, feel enough, and believe that you're enough, regardless of all of that coming to you. It's almost like maybe you've been working on certain things or you're planning to make a big move. It's like these things won't come till the time you almost learn that even if you have nothing, you're still worthy. That's what Spirit is doing with you. And this can be a very, very challenging phase, because I can only understand. And I have experienced this in specific areas of my life. And I think that it takes you back to a very strong core belief, core wound. It shakes up your root chakra. So it kind of brings you back to the way you used to react when you were a child. So maybe um, certain anxious symptoms, such as maybe it's bringing you back to nail biting, maybe it's bringing you back to chasing exes, maybe it's bringing you back to substance issues, certain things that you use to cope up with the feeling of not being loved by mom and dad, basically. So a lot of it is tied in with certain severe issues, in the sense that severe issues is just a layman term to describe that there's something that we're feeling. It's not really an issue, but it's something that has been so attached to your ego that when you're taking it away from your ego, you're kind of crying about it like a baby. You're kind of like, how am I going to do anything without it, you know? So that's what I'm seeing. It's pretty heavy for you. But it's almost like the universe is like your parent. The universe is like your parent when you're asking the universe for a chocolate before bedtime. The universe is like, no, because I know in the future this is going to bring you bad health, this is going to spoil your teeth, this is going to bring in cavities. So the universe doesn't want you to actually get hurt, even though it would be very sweet, it would be very nice. But the universe is like, okay, a little bit of delayed gratification. I will probably let you have this the next day in the evening. You can have it. So the universe is thinking about all sorts of ways in which this would be best for you to be having it. And that's why they want you to become that version. So that when you do have it, you don't OD on it, honestly. You don't overdose on it. And that's what they want you to understand, that they want you to give this abundance. They want to give you this abundance. They don't want you to become diabetic. Does that make sense? So I'm going to take this card in the reverse. What do we have in reverse? Falling angel, spiritual narcolepsy. Exactly what I said. Thank you, Spirit. This is like Spirit doesn't want you to, and this is in reverse, which is a very good indication of the fact that the worry that you're going through, the sleepless nights that you're going through, literally, in terms of what is to come, doesn't even compare with it. Like the tears that you're crying won't even compare with the amount of blessings that are due, that are yet to come for you. I'm seeing like waterfalls. You may be someone that doesn't believe that these things are possible for you, because maybe this is general reading or da 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 da. But you need to understand that you don't have to compete in this universe for the love of this universe, because there's so much of abundance. There's no limitation to this universe, and you don't have to compete or think that the universe loves somebody else more than it loves you. Honestly, it's just a reflection of how much you care about yourself, and the universe wants to teach you how to love yourself more so that you don't make desperate decisions in the moment that harm you later on. It's kind of like shooting yourself in the foot. It's in accumulation, this is a tricky situation, but the best I would conclude it at is that they care for you. That's what the universe is trying to tell you. I really care for you. So, pile number one, I'm going to leave your reading here. I really do hope that this was helpful. If it was, please do hit the like button, subscribe for more, hit the bell icons. Whenever I upload next, let me know down in the comment section how that resonated. Information for personal readings is given down below. And I am going to see you guys in another one. Bye bye. Hello, pile number two. If you chose the fluorite, this is going to be your reading about what is the universe been trying to communicate to you. And here your turn is coming. So there's this floating caption that I've been reading. It's like pretty famous right now. It says that no GPS, or the GPS said it's my turn. And I heard postponement. I am not sure if I completely believe in postponement, because I think that there's peace in realizing that everything happens when it's supposed to happen for you, even when it's your time to act on something. And I feel like maybe there's a manifestation that you have not. It's almost like your fears really hinder your ability to move towards this. You kind of find yourself, like, I'm hearing you can't get out of your head when it comes to this. It's almost like you can't really take much action when it comes to this situation. I'm going to take your pre-shuffle card. I'm going to take this one in reverse. We have love in reverse. So I commit to the practice of seeing good in all things. So whatever this is that you want is something that you don't almost believe in. That's what I'm hearing. It's kind of like it's more of a dream or a fantasy than your ability to see it as your reality. That really hinders your ability to mm, make this happen for yourself. But I think before all of that, it's just the part where you start believing this is possible for you. That's what I'm picking up over here. So it almost makes me think that we're jumping ahead. Like maybe this is somewhere where you're still um pretty new at this, whatever this is, or you're stepping into a new chapter or a phase of it, whatever this is, relationship, career, love, hobby, whatever it is. You know that this would make you really happy. Um, but there's almost like a little bit of denial coming up. That's what I feel. I don't know where that really comes from. Denial in the sense that, is this because I can't have this, or is this because I don't want to accept that this is what I really want in my life? There could be a number of scenarios, but there's denial in something that you're performing. You're not able to see the situation for exactly what it is, or you're not able to accept the situation completely. If it means that you need to work on yourself, if it means that you need to face yourself in terms of what it is that you really want for yourself, you're kind of like a little bit um allured or seduced by the thought of other things, that may be expectations from other people, or what you should be, or what would be good for you, or maybe tangible success, money. And of course, I think that over here that there's something that you do want to gain, obviously, through taking this path or the course of action. But it's almost like there's some sort of, like, you're not touching in with reality over here, if that makes sense. whoever it is, I think it would make absolute sense that you're not touching in with the reality. And this may be difficult for you because there's a gap of practicality over here. You're not seeing. First of all, okay, let's break this down. Spirit's telling me let's break this down and don't read too much into it, because I think that you overthink too much of it and then you kind of convince yourself out of this. Um, and I think how you need to start, or where you need to start for this to start becoming your reality. And I think the first indication that this can happen for you is the fact that you connected with this reading and spirit is literally giving you step by steps. Because in other readings I have not had this kind of intel where spirit is trying to break things down for you so that you can actually proceed forward. So I think the first step would be to start writing about this, to start writing your manifestations, to start in visualizing, um, to sit every day in the morning, um, do breathing exercises. um, I'm not very familiar with the yoga, but I'm being shown the image of closing one of your nostrils and then breathing in and then opening up and then exhaling. So, certain breathing exercises that connect you back with the reality, ground you as well. I think that this is what spirit is asking you to do. I also think that if you are someone that struggles with having a good routine, you probably, if you wake up late, whatever late is for you, it's almost like they're giving 8 or 9 a.m. You should be awake. Um, and for somebody, they're telling me that your workout or exercise routine should be around 5 p.m., not more late than 8 p.m. Um, so that you're in bed around 9 or 10. That's almost what they're giving me, okay? So this may be vital for this phase of your life to be a little bit more fixated upon instilling a good routine for yourself, especially if you're looking for a career, because spirit doesn't want you to exhaust yourself going to a 9 to 5 or even starting up um a business plan, startup, entrepreneurship, whatever it is. It's almost like they're keeping all things in mind when it comes to pushing you towards this endeavor, next chapter of your life. Even if it comes to a love relationship, I think whatever it is, they want you to have a routine first in life, because you may be someone that is closing out a difficult cycle for yourself. I'm gonna take the last card up, right? Why? I'm telling you that you tend to overthink this, and there may be a good reason for you to overthink. It almost means that you're scared to dip into your body. Basically, you're staying up in your head. Does that make sense? You're staying up in your head because your body is feeling anxious about whatever you're thinking, or the way it is. Your state of being is almost a little bit well, it's in survival mode. That's what I'm hearing. So you may be someone that has depressive episodes, is what I'm hearing. So there's phases in your life where you feel pretty depressed, you feel pretty low. Um, you need to check upon with your health, see what kind of supplements or deficiencies you've had. If you have had substance issues, substance abuse issues, it's almost like um, it may have caused some sort of physical symptom, right, or deficiency in your body. So it could be like you suffer with fatigue. So there's something that in order for you to really move past this, you can't skip how your physical body feels and then how your routine reflects the state of your mental state, your state of being, right? So that's almost what they want to really emphasize it. It's like they're giving you these step by steps because I think that you get a little bit overwhelmed. um and there's nothing wrong with it, because sometimes all of us really need instructions to know how to move forward, right? Because I think that you're already pretty overwhelmed, so they're kind of telling you that their message to you in uh from a very higher perspective, also in a detailed manner, is that you need to first start focusing upon how you really feel, how your body really feels. Because if you're always tired, if you're always scared to be by yourself, if you're anxious, you stay too much up in your head, there's a good reason your body is not able to completely heal despite you doing the work, despite you journaling, despite you meditating, despite you doing whatever you're doing, without giving itself the natural healers, the sun, the water, the earth, the air. So it's almost like you need to include more of nature, you need to include more of a natural routine rather than an artificial one. The artificial one is, so to speak, that in today's date we are so consumed by technology that we're using, LED lamps, we're using all sorts of things to replace things to not go outside. um like we're using Zoom and Skype meetings um to replace physical contact with other people, right? So there's some sort of definitely advantage, but a disadvantage that is separating you from your human biology. And I think that again, the first step is to do the groundwork of it. You start drinking more water, and stop seeing this as a responsibility. This is something that you owe to yourself, okay? This is something that you owe to yourself to feel better and move forward in life. If you don't do all of these things, your body will not be able to heal. You may have been surviving, but you're not really living. Does that make sense? So, a lot of uh, rigorous pursuit of feeling healthy would be required in this situation where you learn that there's importance. Because I think that you may feel as if, like, if I jump start to where I want to be, I will be able to feel better. But I think that the key or the core values of these things are very important and vital to you feeling good and good enough and just feeling good in your body. I think that you have forgotten the importance of these simple things that our parents kind of keep telling us that this is what is important, like no screen time or go outside and play or all sorts of things like that, which may be feeling like they're nagging you, but they're actually telling you the true healers. This is something that I have also come to realize, that the kind of things that they used to tell me when I was a teenager and I was too busy, with the iPads and all those things like that, are the things that now I have started prioritizing, because I'm just mature enough to understand that um, those were the things that actually heal you. It's like, I've almost reached that age where I do understand the importance of all these things. And I have been in the place that you have been. And I think that we truly underestimate the importance of um, routine, exercise, being out there in the sun. And our personal biology serves a very big role. The chirping got so much more louder. It's almost like whenever I hear a lot of birds chirping, it's like the ancestors are getting louder and louder. So I think that they're really talking about your own personal biology. What might be easy for somebody else, or what their body, like, if you're comparing yourself, somebody else may be coping up with something, somebody else may be coping up with something better than you are or worse than you are. You can't sit and compare what's less in me or what's more in them. I think that over here you have to accept however it is and work to sort of like learn to walk with it, maneuver through that, right? Even if we are blessed by the creator or the god with a beautiful body, a healthy body, it doesn't mean that we can go on abusing it. It means that whatever you've been given, you have to maintain it and further learn how to flourish in that, right? So the first card that we have is Neptune. So now I think that we're coming full circle around with um I feel like there's this intuitive knowingness within you that you had to hear this, to pay more attention to the fact that your body needs care right now. And I know that there's this sense of urgency that I just want to skip. But I think that this phase of understanding your body, learning how to take care of it, almost this is a part of mothering yourself. This is a part of learning to be in your feminine energy. And this may not come as easy, but this is very important. I mean, almost if I really had to give my own 2 cents, it's like this is vital for you to learn. And you may struggle with it because it'd be like you have to dip into your feminine energy, and your feminine energy may be roaring right now. It may be expressing certain things you don't want to feel, or you don't want to heal completely. Um, especially in terms of maybe your body. I feel like your body may be carrying shame, guilt from the past. So you may have pain in your tailbone area or your lower back. Or this may manifest as rashes in the sense spiritually they what's the word, spiritually they define some sort of lack of self-acceptance. You're not able to digest or stomach something about yourself, or you're not able to be your true self as well. So there's certain things that your physical body is really really telling you at this point with whatever you're going through. And it could be that you've already known how to take care of yourself, but you maybe had a rough patch and now you're just finding yourself in what's that word, spirit, you're finding yourself stuck. No, there's a specific word, funk, right? You're finding yourself in a funk. So that's what they would really want to help you out with. That you're kind of like dreaming. Should I take this card upright or reverse? Upright. So we have Dust Devil moving out of stagnation. So you've been feeling pretty stuck because something has happened in your life. And I think that this may have been a very, I'm hearing the words erotic purge. And maybe something that brought around a lot of dormant emotions, maybe from your past, maybe from your childhood. Maybe a lot of it was related with a love interest, a strong soulmate, or whatever you'd like to call that person. You had a very strong karmic tie with this person. Um, and I think that this led for you to really, really look at what you have made of yourself, if I'm being very honest, in the most um it's not to be rude, but in the most clear cut language. It's almost like for you to really see how you're treating yourself, what your life has become, what you have become, and how this is adding up to your own well-being. Because I think that your mental you're pouring in a lot into your mental state, but somewhere you kind of forgot that um well, your mind lives in your body as well, and the way your body feels is also going to add to how you really end up feeling. So I pick up on a lot of lethargy. I don't know if you've been using some sort of drug for a few of you, or just there's some escapism. There's a high possibility there's some sort of drug abuse involvement over here. And if it's not that, it's just ruminations, just thinking way too much negative that started affecting your body. Maybe for some of you, you're experiencing hair fall, or maybe some sort of iron deficiency. That's why I pick up on a lot of fatigue. It could also be lack of magnesium and zinc. And I'm picking up that if you eat a lot of ice, um, I think that if you are eating a lot of ice, spirit is telling me that's lack of iron. So you kind of have to Google the meaning of what you're craving, right? Or you can just go for a routine checkup or a blood test. I think that's very important for you. But number two, I think it would add so much. Sometimes, it's not at all to blame you, but it's just like you want to move past this, right? You want to feel better. And the feel better aspect over here comes in when you start giving your body what it needs. So it's, if it's more protein, if it's more leafy vegetables, which I do pick up that you need to eat more live food, like, live food in the sense, we get so much fast food and frozen food at our doorstep. It's like a flick of a finger, but We need to eat more live food in the sense of like leafy vegetables cooked, or fresh vegetables, or I'm really seeing capsicum in my head, bell peppers. But for you over here, I'm also picking up on like live food in the sense fruits. Fruits, like it makes your body happy. It honestly makes me happy whenever I do have it, and I have it pretty regularly. Because it's just like I have everything in a balance, but then again, it's just a different type of happiness that your body feels when you eat all of these things. It's just very different. Like once you actually start doing that, and once you start associating with your body more than disassociating, these things become relatively louder. It's like you can recognize them so easily, about what's making your body happy, what's fueling it, apart from what's making it lethargic, what's difficult for your stomach to process, or what takes longer for your stomach to process, or what's simply just worth having a little bit like a knick-knack, um, here and there. It's not worth making it your fuel, in that sense. So, and I only say all of this because I wouldn't be able to really go in detail if I had not already done and experienced all these things, right? So that's what I hear from spirit. I'm gonna take the first card in reverse as to what the universe has in store for you. We have the Five of Wands in reverse. So this internal battle that you keep having with yourself. I'm fighting with myself. And I think that the fighting is mainly because you're kind of like your body, in a very, very massive manner, the way it communicates to you is with little twitches, um, feelings of anxiety, paranoia, and it's communicating something to you that, moving past all of this, you will realize that um, disassociating with it was actually causing you a lot more pain than you realize. It's almost like you're ignoring it. You're trying to separate your body because it stores some painful feelings. Your body remembers some painful things, and you don't want to kind of attend to it because they're very, very painful, understandable. It probably hurts you a lot. So there's almost this you will come out of it feeling more in friendship, or um more in uh, peace. I feel like, yeah, peace. I said the word friendship, but I think I definitely meant to say that. It's almost like maybe you struggle with your body, you're at war with your body, because maybe it could be body image issues, maybe it could just be that sitting by yourself is too difficult, you have anxiety. That's what I keep picking up. It's almost like what it wants to convey, and this is a process. You won't be able to pull out the baggage just sitting in one go and it's all gone poof. No, like, it takes your whole lifetime almost, but a substantial part of it is kind of bubbling up, and the universe is guiding you through it. And I think that for your body to have a um fighting chance to heal it, to have the energy to release all of this, is your nutrition, honestly, is your well-being. We all talk about mental consumption and following, Instagram pages that make you feel bad, not listening to poor advices, not listening to people that put you down, and all sorts of things like that. But then when it comes to ourselves, there's a very, very big um, contribution of the way that we put things in our body, of the relationship that you're sharing with our body. Because if your body is actually struggling with so much, it's important that it has the energy that it needs to recuperate. um, there is an importance of white. You know how they talk about white blood cells? It's like there are cells in your body that immediately come whenever there's an intruder, right? An infectious bacteria. So it's almost like right now there is an intruder, and so to speak, right? This trauma that you're healing, your body needs that fuel to recuperate. to rejuvenate from the energy that it's taking you to do shadow work. Because let's be very real, even to do all of this shadow work, it takes a lot. And maybe if you're healing from a breakup or a bad situation or a phase, it's like you need that fuel, especially in terms of not feeling so lethargic about yourself, feeling like, what's wrong with me? Why am I not able to feel good about myself? Or why am I not able to wake up on time? Or why am I sleeping so much? So I'm picking up on the advice now. Nine of Swords. Do you see how the Nine of Swords has like a sun over here? And I'm going to take this card. We have the card of Fates. So whatever you're going through, of course, it was very, very meant to be. There's no denying of that. I'm going to take this card in the reverse. We have the Four of Swords in reverse. You are coming out of this, okay? Just hold on to it. It's like it gets a little bit more tedious. It gets a little bit more difficult whenever you're at the end of it. So just keep holding on to that. Do not give up. Hopefully, you will put in um, a lot of this information to use that I have shared, because I think that if you connected with this, it means that um, your body really needs that fuel um, to fight through the stressors around it and it in itself, right? So pile number two, I'm going to leave your reading here. I really do hope that this was helpful. If it was, please do the like button. Subscribe for more. Hit the bell icon so you know whenever I upload next. Let me know down in the comment section. How did that resonate? Information for personal readings is given down below. And I'm going to see you guys in another one. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number three. If you chose the lemon jade, this is going to be your reading about what is the universe trying to communicate to you. So I am picking up something about not giving up because it seems like an uphill battle, or majorly I'm hearing new incoming changes. So maybe because of the heights that you're reaching, it's changing a lot of things in your life. I think that is very self-explanatory, right? Because you've wanted this change and it's coming in. It's just not coming in the package that you've wanted it to be. So it almost kind of makes you question if these changes are necessary, or is this pain necessary? That's what I'm hearing. For first card, we have the second house, physical security, possessions, material value, and self-worth. So I think majorly what this is triggering is your sense of stability. It's almost like if there was something that was physically valid for you. Maybe it's like a certain type of beauty standard, or your physical appearance, or maybe your car, your home. Something's, I'm hearing like something's gotta give. It's almost like you have to give something to get something back, and maybe this is a phase where you're losing certain things. So maybe if you asked for new friends, if you asked for a better pay, if you wanted to change your job, you wanted to be more happy doing what you do, I think it's calling in definitely that vacancy. It's requiring for you to give up on what you may have defined yourself through. It's almost like whenever somebody asks you a question, describe yourself, who are you? And you can't really describe that without using verbs or certain adjectives, right? And over here, maybe it was defined by the kind of job that you were in. Like, I am a stylist, I am a journalist, I'm a doctor. So all sorts of things like that I see over here that may be triggering your sense of stability. It's almost like it's being taken away in order for you to figure out who you are without it, because it is a big chunk of what that defines for you. It could also be maybe dating multiple people. Maybe right now you're not able to settle in a relationship because, or maybe you don't have enough money to maybe feed into your appearance. Maybe you don't have enough money to go for retail therapy, or maybe splurge on new clothes or luxury brands. There's something that may have been your constant, and I think that you may have asked for a real upgrade. um almost in a sense where you recognize that you're becoming different, or in a sense you're actually becoming yourself, you're becoming unique. And this is making you feel scared. This is making you feel as if this is making you feel as if you're being left with nothing. Your safety net basically is being taken away. So it's almost like if you consider yourself to be a spiritual person, maybe your spirituality is enhancing or heightening to the levels in which they keep giving me the image of climbing a mountain. So even though that sounds really great, it sounds like you're making strides in your own life and your spiritual components of life and your personality. It's also asking you to somewhat surrender or give up certain things that may have been an egoic pleasure for you. It was a little bit comfortable, and it's not that you don't have, like, being spiritual is to attract abundance in all shapes or forms. So it means that if you are someone that also indulges in maybe luxury items, that is also a part of abundance. It's not materialistic. That's just a way to perceive something over here. That's what I pick up. So, in your scenario, for you to become more abundant, it's to almost realize that you are already without having it. Does that make sense? It's almost like it's being taken, it's in the most twisted manner, it's almost like it's being taken away from you for you to recognize that you already are what you want. And it comes to you in a free form. It comes to you free. No, what's that right word? That there was this word that I've been trying to get. Spirit, what's that word? Effortlessly. Yes, effortlessly. It's like it comes to you effortlessly. You don't have to do much to really get that, acquire that. It's almost like if there's, you know, it's almost like this gives me the image that there was something in your life, you may have outgrown it, or you may have just decided, well, yes, outgrown it, or you may have just decided that, well, this is something that doesn't satisfy me anymore. Like, I think at this point I want something more, like I would like something bigger or better. So I think that there's a lot of changes that are happening around, maybe in your physical reality, but there's something that is provoking this physical change. It could talk about your body, it could talk about your house, it could talk about your car, it could talk about your job. This shift is showing up in your life not because things are crumbling down or things are not working out for you or because you feel lost. Honestly, it sounds like somewhere you may be experiencing this vacancy, this clearing out, this decluttering, because it's going to take you to where you want to be. So this is truly in the sense where the universe is trying to communicate to you that this is like the next phase of your life. This is beginning of the new chapter. So how they say that endings are often beginnings in disguise, right? So this is what I see taking place for you. This is somewhere where this pause maybe making you question, like, what the fuck just stopped? Why, I mean, what the fuck just happened? Like, why did everything stop? It's almost like the mediocrity that you had is being taken away for something that is more well fitted. It's like, well, we had this piece of clothing and we've worn it for a while. It's kind of getting a little bit tighter on us because we're becoming a little bit bigger, or in that sense where, for children, how we shop for children, it's like we always try to buy a size bigger and then they grow into them and then you need another pair. So you always have to remove or you have to throw away the pair that you already have, right? And in that sense, I think that it's almost like you're growing out of something that was already there, and you're realizing that it's not for you as much as you thought it would have been. So there's some sort of stagnancy that you're facing over here, and I don't think that stagnancy may be the appropriate word, but it's almost like imperfections. It's like something in your, maybe your mindset, some limitations, certain things that are certain limitations, certain mindsets. It's almost like things of that sort, they are being removed, decluttering in its most efficient manner. It's almost like maybe this is a painful process. Maybe it's making you question your self-worth. It's making you release all your self-doubt. It's making you think about, well, like now this has been taken, and then who am I? So it's almost like maybe you still think that you were going to go back and try to fit your foot into the same shoe that was not fitting, or you're trying to, go back into that mold that you've outgrown. It's almost like you're not finding the right way to move forward, and it's almost really making you cave into what you were before, what you used to be. Does that make sense? So this is kind of like a fun play happening for you right now. I'm pretty sure that it must be painful. Because I think that from a holistic perspective or a higher viewpoint, this seems like a little hiccup. If I'm being very honest, I think that's what the universe would tell you, that this probably seems like it's very big right now, but in my perspective, I am seeing this as some sort of a hiccup which will join you. It's like a bridge, right? It's like a bridge. It's gonna join you to where you're meant to be. It's gonna lead you there. So I keep hearing that, don't worry about it. Like, it's going to be better than you imagined. And I think that you may not be able to understand how and why, or you maybe have this pessimism, roaring pessimism right now, which is like, well, it never happens for me. Or there are certain things, specific message that you have in your Pinterest board, or, in your vision board, or things like that. That is something that spirit is moving you towards, because it's like there's no discrimination from the universe towards you. There's only discrimination that you have formed in your own head. It's almost like abundance is always there. It's just limited by the mindset that you have towards yourself. And that information actually makes me a little bit more upset than I admit, because it's like all along that was me. That meme of that Spider-Man where he's mirroring back to himself. It's almost like you're blaming the universe, but when you're blaming the universe, it's looking right back at you. That's the whole game that we're playing in this universe and reality. So I am picking up that there are certain changes coming in for you. Okay, I'm gonna open a tarot deck, and I'm gonna try and see what exactly is the message for you, because I am hearing something that they want to deliver through a tarot deck. You have two soul journey cards, so I'm gonna take this one in the reverse, balance in reverse, and I'm gonna take this upright reverse, spirit, reverse. So we have treasure island. You're discovering your X factor, so this could relate to your career, this could relate to your lifestyle, this could relate to several things that may be at play, where I feel like in accumulation it's just making you doubt yourself. It's bringing out some sort of, I'm hearing the word self-hatred or strong pessimism. So you're having a very strong encounter with your shadow side, because you have the space for it to finally come out in whichever manner it is showing up, with whatever question or difficulty you're facing right now in your life. um because with physical security, it really makes me question if you're looking forward to take your relationship to the next level. If you've been single, to find somebody, it's changing your checklist, or what you look for in another person is also what I'm hearing. So spirit, what is the question? What's in store for you is the first question that I got. I'm going to take this card upright. We have the Knight of Cups. So there's a relationship that I picked up right now, right? I'm going to take this card as well upright. The Four of Swords. Incubation is what I'm hearing. Incubation. It's not yet ready. Whatever it is that you're asking for, it's not yet ready for you. It's almost like, in the sense, it's these very, very simple concepts of manifestation, that you are being taken to that version that can fit into that shoe, the bigger shoe. You're kind of in between. I heard in between jobs as well. But whatever it is, that will bring you more fulfillment. It's something like spirit is still preparing you for it. Um, One thing that I'm hearing is almost like freedom of speech, or your ability to be completely authentic. To be completely authentic in the sense, you may have phases where you doubt if you're good enough or you're cared for enough, whether it's by your friends, family, people around you. And there's almost this, I don't know, resentment, grudge, this feeling that I'm unlovable that makes you question if things will ever work out for you. Because there's this perception through which we see ourselves, your lens. It's almost like it's so tiny when it comes to the way you see yourself. You don't see yourself as up to par to the job or the relationship or the person or the kind of lifestyle that you want. And I see nothing but love over here. I see so much of encouragement. I see big blessings. And that's what I heard in the beginning. Um, I'm going to take this card up. It's see skywriting. There's something you've been manifesting. This is a very strong indication with the skywriting. I really see somebody writing it. I see somebody maybe taking out pictures from Pinterest, hanging it in their vision board, especially writing. If you've written about a partner, if you've written, like, you may want to go back to that journal book. You may want to go back to that page. You may want to find what you had written. You may want to go back to that because whatever you had written is something that's going to come to life. I'm hearing in 5 months. So something is about to strongly change over here. Something is about to come in. And it's almost like, meanwhile, Spirit is preparing you to have all that in your life. Because you're not complete. Because honestly, it's not just because you can't have it or there's like a time or phase. It really depends on how well you start believing in yourself, because till the time you don't level up with that, what you imagine for yourself to be, you don't start embodying it, you can't really get that in your life. And that's the whole, well, the knick-knack of it, right? It's almost like that is the whole play. That's the plot. It's like you become that person and that's when you get it. So there's definitely something about what you have you have used certain manifestation techniques, whether it's just through writing, affirmations, you've done something. It's like maybe rewiring your subconscious, maybe writing it down, maybe I'm also hearing specifically moon magic or crystal work. There's something that you've done. I'm also picking up on spell work for some reason, but there's some sort of technique, especially about writing it down, that has been prominently mentioned over here. That it's been prominently given to me by Spirit. Something about that, or it's just like designing or envisioning your life on a very excessive level. That's what I'm hearing. It's almost like you've repetitively thought for it, about it, yearned for it. It almost seems like with the fate is also like that dream wouldn't have been put in your heart if it not wasn't meant for you. That's what I'm also picking up. It's almost like there's some sort of certainty, there's something that is very guaranteed for you to have that in your life. um I'm hearing train wreck. It's almost like maybe you didn't imagine that this would be possible for you because of the way that you perceive yourself. There's something that's changing, and this is why it's coming in your life. I'm hearing to be continued, dot dot dot. It's almost like you may think that this is the finale of it. It's like there's so much more. There's so much more. Maybe you've been in this long cycle of working on yourself. I'm picking up on 11 years for some reason. And I'm picking up on strong Scorpio and Pisces and Taurus, Virgo, Aries. Um, Ninth house is very important over here with 9 as well. So this gives me that something is, I'm hearing horrendous. It's almost like this doesn't make sense because you may have been in a hermit mode for a really long time. It's like these changes are coming in for you. These changes are coming in for you to understand what this really means to you today. It's almost like it's almost there. So are you going to give up on it? Do you not want it anymore? There's something of that sort. It's going to be pretty big, and I feel very excited for you from the universe's end. It's almost like maybe it's something that you've also been investing in for a really long time. It could be a piece of work, article, project. It could be a channel. It could be a YouTube channel. It could be well, there's a very specific message. You've been working on a YouTube channel or an Instagram platform or something on social media for the past 3 to 9 years, is also what I'm picking up. It kind of seems like it's coming in motion. It's going to come for you. I'm going to take this card up, right, to figure out what I'm hearing. The words management of it would look like. It's almost like, what would it feel like when you have it around? This is the Lovers, Gemini. I think that there would be, with Gemini, it's like a lot of intellectual, stimulation, inspiration, but also a lot of passion that comes in with this. Like, you would be very happy. So it's almost like the message that the universe is trying to deliver to you, trying to deliver to you. I'm facing difficulty in expressing myself in this reading. However, there's so much engagement in this reading. I would say that it's like there's so much that has happened and you're still very focused on it. That really talks about your determination, how badly you want this. And that's what the universe is talking about. There's something that you can't separate from yourself. It's like almost like a very strong desire, and there's the reason why you can't separate it from yourself, simply because of the fact that this is something that is meant for you. This is something that is supposed to come for you. That's why, even no matter what happens, come what may, it's like you're still super fixated on it. Do you have something that comes to your mind related to that? I'm pretty sure if you chose this pile, there were a couple of things, but there's that one thing that really comes to your mind. For some of you, this is something that you did not have when you were a child, probably, that is coming for you. It could be also in the form of love. It could be that a relationship, or it could just be an atmosphere where you feel loved and cherished. It could be a group of friends. It could be somewhere where you're aligning with people that truly, truly understand you. And the reason why you're coming to this phase, the end of it, and the beginning of something, let's not forget that, is because you've worked on letting go of a lot of it, which is commendable, which is, the highlight of this whole reading. And I'm going to take your last reshuffle card in the reverse, failure. So I think this is a affirmation that, you're not going to fail. You have made a lot of changes. If this reading comes to you and you pick this pile, take it as a very strong confirmation that you aligned energetically with something. You had absolutely no idea what this picker card contains, and the disbelief should be thoroughly erased from your head that you will fail. You will not fail. It's a human tendency to anticipate the good or the worst of the situation, for better or worse. But I think that over here, Spirit is trying to indicate that don't have that doubt in your head. There's so much that you have gone through to reach this point, and just receive this with wholeheartedness, and happiness, open arms, almost like with the hugging that I see, open arms, and then he's holding his heart. It's like, trust, this is yours. This is truly, truly yours. Okay, so pile number 3, this was your reading. I'm gonna leave it here. I really hope that this was helpful. If it was, please do hit the like button, subscribe for more, hit the bell icon so you know whenever I upload next. Let me know down in the comment section how that resonated. Information for personal readings is given down below, and I am gonna see you guys in another one. Bye bye. Hello, pile number 4. If you chose the Polychrome heart, this is going to be your reading about what is the universe trying to communicate to you. So one of the first things that I do here is take your time. So I can only assume that maybe you're feeling a little bit impatient with a certain goal that you have, is what I feel. And I think that you may have some sort of blueprint, or you may know what you want or where you want to reach, but you may not have the procedure or almost like certain other things about it. It's almost like you don't know. I'm hearing the words pit stop. It's like we're taking a road trip to a destination from our current location, and well, we know where we kind of want to go, right? But we don't know which roads to take, and where we're facing a little bit of traffic. And So maybe right now you're experiencing a halt. It's almost like stopping at the gas station to fill up your tank. That's what I feel. So maybe it's literally about connecting with your own intellectual and intuitive resources. That's what I'm hearing. So maybe you are using a lot of wisdom that you have. Um, and I think that at this point, you're kind of picking whatever you're getting, because there's a little bit of, you're facing a little bit of, this is like a bleak moment. It's not somewhere like a rock bottom. It seems like you feel quite lost. So you're kind of holding on to whatever seems familiar at this point. Um, and Spirit is saying that this is completely natural, that you're feeling this right now because it's only natural. Again, it's not even quote unquote human tendencies. Um, I don't think that I want to personify that. It's just very natural that any organism would, like grapple onto whatever makes them feel like they have something um, familiar, like something to bring them a little bit of comfort in that sense, because a lot of their surroundings feel um, unknown to them, right? That's what I'm picking up over here. So your first card is the Sun. Self express, embody the truth. So I feel like this is an awakening moment for a lot of you. This looks pretty minor on a tangible level or on a physical level, because this is not visible to you, but on an internal level, you're changing on a cellular level. So this is pretty major internally. This is something that is a part of your dharma. This is something that is typically, I would say, typically a part of your spiritual progress and your path. Is something that I would say that it was written, that you would kind of go through this. Um, and I think that there's something about this is, I would really call it the fates making this happen for you. This is like something that if I could tell you, which I feel like it makes me really excited at the very least to share that and even to hear that for myself, that this is something that you were going to go through. It means almost as if this feeling of lost is only perceived to be lost because there's something that is lost to be lost and found, that is just myself. But over here, in that sense, it means that there's a comfort in knowing that I'm not really lost. I was just meant to feel this feeling right now because I'm exactly where I need to be. Does that make sense? So I think what the universe is trying to communicate to you right now, and I don't think that this is something that your intuition is very openly able to deliver to you. I'm not sure why this comes in, but there's only the only thing that I'm hearing is that something that you will probably hear through a reading, almost like through an external source when you're finding this reading, because it's somewhere where your internal compass is still shifting. Do you know, like how I'm seeing the image of a broken compass? You know how the needle keeps just moving around, you don't know which direction it, that's the moment. Because at this point there's something supernatural happening where your character is being defined. You're being shaped under pressure, and through this process you're finding your own, uh I'm hearing the word Miraki, or I'm hearing the word that defines the situation, your shine with the sun. This is like somewhere you are finding the darkness is where your light is shining the most, right? It looks the brightest when you're in a dark room and you light a matchstick. That's when it looks the brightest. So there's something where in this moment, maybe I feel like a very random example that I'm getting. You're not attracted to the people that you used to be attracted. Your pattern is changing. Your attachment style is moving towards a securer one. So right now you're feeling more bubbly. Whether you're a man or a woman, you're feeling more feminine. Some part of you, okay, some part of you does is struggling with itself right now, but on a non-triggered level, I think that you feel receptive, you feel responsive, you feel um gullible in the best sense. Gullible is not an insult or a lack of discernment over here. Gullible is almost like you feel a little bit open to trust. These are the energies that I pick up that are dormant or are underlying the fears that you're feeling. And I think that a good part of you knows that this thing will work out, whatever is happening. And I hope that you take this message, which says that you are exactly where you need to be. You're not lost. You feel lost. That's a different thing. You feel lost, but you are not lost. And the universe will give you the tools, whether it's through a friend, whether it's through a confidant, whether it's through a lesson, whether it's through an acquaintance, whether it's through an incident. Anything that will happen to you will bring you back to yourself. Something will break this illusion of being lost. And I think that this is an awakening moment because simply because of the reason that there's something inside you that is falling apart and it doesn't recognize itself anymore. So this kind of like lost energy is also holding on to maybe yourself, the familiarity of who you used to be, but you don't actually want to be that person. um I'm not sure how much this makes sense, but I'm pretty sure that if somebody's going through that, they would understand word by word. So I think that these are one of those moments where certain poems and certain quotes only hit us because we're in that scenario. And if this is your right pile, it almost makes me feel like you only need that reassurance that the universe will bring you back to yourself. This whole process was all about that. Um, and I keep hearing the word kismet, which makes me feel like something is about to change in your life, something pretty huge, something on a very tangible level, something that um may not be a usual cup of tea. Maybe it I feel like it's not very much related to a person. um I feel like it may be about your career, or it may be about the certain experiences that you I feel like it's like a situation. It's not just about a person. I think that it's going to be a situation in your life that is created, that is, and I'm hearing moving forward, things are going to be all about you. So I'm not sure what that means. It's almost like if you were feeling like you're in the back burner, you're always sitting at the back bench, you're going to be shifted to the front row. That's what I'm hearing. So, or the universe, what is the universe? Yeah, I think that maybe for a while you've not felt like the main character in your own life, and spirit is bringing up that boost in you because you're shedding this layer of maybe grief, maybe distrust, maybe trust issues, maybe feeling betrayed ultimately by your parents. And I think that's what brought in these previous partners. I specifically heard the word male suitors, and if you're a man, there's female suitors. But I think that this is talking about your pattern changing, which it's not to make it a romantic reading, it's just to signify that there is a good part of you um which is developing a healthier relationship with the energy of love. That's what it means, right? So it means that your worthiness is improving. um, so on a holistic viewpoint, this is very good, this is very significant, right? So I'm hearing, what are you going to be meeting with? I'm going to take this card in the reverse. Upright, okay. Two of Swords, the Hangman. I'm gonna take your pre-shuffle cards. This one in reverse is what Spirit tells me. Growth. So this says I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. So I feel like you will have a situation that will seem like your past, or there would be your past in another body, basically the same person, same lesson in another body, or that could actually be your past. And I think the significance of it might be to not to exactly test. I think test seems a little bit distrustful. It's almost like the universe is like, I really want to poke the bear and see if you're the same person. I don't think that's that. I think that there's a misleading concept out there, and it can be very well instilled by the choices of words. But if I break it down in a sense where we connect with this phase or this lesson, so to speak, as something that comes in to dust off the residuals of a certain life that we have lived, which means that this person comes in for you to purge out whatever was left in you that still wanted to go through the roller coaster of the highs and lows. Does that make sense? So it's almost like that we see this opportunity to furthermore heal that wound. That's the way I perceive things. Um, and I think over here you will have that opportunity created, and maybe it's possible that this is what was the catalyst to this situation. But I think that for majority of you, the catalyst was already that your inner thoughts started they started becoming louder, especially the darker ones, especially the uglier ones, especially the ones that anchor you down. So it's almost like the universe pulled out that anchor from the ground so that you can start facing it, so that you can start untangling yourself. And I feel that for you to start untangling yourself, you had to be made aware of what truly exists within you. Because it's so surprising and mind baffling when you start doing the inner work. You want your ego, or your ego does work in a sense that it tries to rationalize the amount of work that you've done to feel that you're healthy enough, you share a better relationship with yourself. But the deeper that you keep going inside, the more that you start seeing yourself for who you are, you will have moments of feeling like you're actually ugly, or and ugly is just a way of delivering that. It's almost like you will start feeling more filthy, and that is a very big indicator of the fact that you're quite deep in it, which is, I think, it's great in itself. But this is a very um there's a fine line, you know, um in the sense where you embrace and dance with the devil. In that sense, you learn to embrace your demons, and there's a very fine line in which you somewhat, fall back in depression or in old patterns. And that journey is something that, in my personal experience, it just summarizes as don't give up. No matter how many times you trip, no matter how many times you fall back into the same patterns, no matter how many times you repeat that, no matter how many times you trip, it's almost literally like in your healing journey to apply, you fall 7 times and then you get up the 8th time. That's what I see over here. So it's not about to shame ourselves that it took us several attempts, or it took us even one attempt. um it's very natural to go back and hold on to what we think is familiar to us, because even though we're moving towards a better version of ourselves, our body and our psyche, whichever way that works, it wants to choose a hell over happiness, always, always. And that is nothing to blame ourselves, because we are only creatures of habits. But our brain, humans are the most magnificent and intelligent creation of God or the universe. They are the most adaptable. um, and I'm hearing the word detail oriented. The fact that humans can actually connect with the spiritual energy, they can feel a part of the God consciousness, they can adapt. um, Life is a game of adaptation. If you don't adapt with your circumstances, if you don't grow, you will fall back. You kind of do get left behind. So in this journey, I would in this manner, I would really, really suggest that you trust your path, because your natural evolution is taking place. That means it's not just your physical body changes that come through as you age. It's not just how your face changes. It's not just how your behaviors change. It will always change. You just decide for better or worse. That's what I see over here. So the universe kind of wants to tell you that, yes, this situation may be difficult. It's not always induced and pumped with positive thinking. If you generally have such shitty thinking about yourself, keep writing it out. Keep trying to talk about it. Keep trying to write it out. Crush the paper, burn it, yell, scream, go to book a breaking room. Do whatever you have to do to deal with your anger in a healthier form. Um, and this is your moment where you're probably looking your demons in the eye, and that's where you learn how to dance with them. So this means that if it requires for you to meditate, if it requires for you to call upon your ancestors, if it requires for you to go in the nature, this is the time where you find what seems healthily familiar, so that there are coping mechanisms for you. I know that this is a difficult one, because at every step of the way, it's hard to believe that we do have a choice. And sometimes we are going to make poor choices. That's a part of the plan. That is just how the game works. We don't always win. Sometimes we lose and then we learn. And I think it's kind of a little bit unrealistic in my own perspective with my own self, being a living example of it. That if I had not tripped 5, 6, 7, 8 times, I wouldn't learn different facets of the same lesson. Like, I honestly feel like it's a foolproof plan. I generally feel that failing so many times in probably one area of your life makes you consider possible adjacent um, situations, what is possible over there, makes you face all sorts of big and small contingencies in that. And it kind of makes you a little bit foolproof, almost like bulletproof. You're like, well, okay, this happened a little bit, this looks pretty familiar, and that's the move that I made before, but now I can go with this because I feel like I know this would probably work out. Do you know what that means? It's almost like you're very, very secured with the map of a city, or a part of the town, and you're kind of like, okay, I can take this residential lane, or I can take this um rural lane, or something like that, and I know that this is going to get me to this destination. It's not about how it looks, it's about how it feels. How well does it feel and fit? So don't be scared to make mistakes, given that you do have a choice always in your hand. Pile number 4. So this is almost like, I would really say that divine telling you, the universe telling you, don't be scared to make mistakes. So we have the card flexible. This is number 19. This is about that balance. I spoke about the dancing with the devil, and this is not at all to threaten you, make you feel threatened or scared that you're going to make the bad you're going to make bad decisions. You're going to always make bad decisions. I'm not perfect, you're not perfect, nobody is perfect. um and your own unique experiences will shape you up to be an example for somebody else. um and you can't be scared to trip in life. You can't be scared to have your own experience. I think that a lot of it may be that you want to be perfect. It's almost like you want your graph to keep going up. But the thing about life is that you move faster. Have you seen those videos where they say that up and down, a ball that is going up and down travels faster than a ball that is on a playing field. So you will move faster if you allow yourself to have those up and downs. And that is just a part of the plan. That is just a part of the plan. We can't do anything. We hate it, but we kind of also love it. You would not enjoy your life if everything was easy. That's just how humans are made. That's just how humans are made. You crave that thrill, you crave that adrenaline. As a human, you want to expand your elasticity. As a human, your soul prototype is to experience all ranges of emotions. So, what you actually love is to experience life at its peak. So, you maybe someone that feels a lot, you could be a water sign, or you could have dominant Scorpio, as well as Capricorn. It's almost like you want the best of best. So you're such a strong, tenacious soul. It's almost like if you're feeling soft, you're feeling very soft. You're a very pure person with the sun. You're very pure, and it's like we quote them as negative emotions, sadness, tears, but you also feel the full extent of it, and that makes you prone to experience the full extent of happiness, tears of happiness as well, right? So it's almost like can't hate the game, but we love it. That's what I hear. Like you may say that you hate this, but you actually love it. Pile number 4, you love the fact that you overcome challenges, you climb mountains, and then you get to see the sunset. So I have your last card, which is Eye of the Eagle, rising above the fray. This is about the holistic view. This is number 18. So we have a sequence over here. You are on the right path. I just want to keep telling you. I just want to tell you this, that you are on the right path. You're feeling lost, but you're not lost because you're right where you need to be. You may feel like other people are ahead of you. You may feel like maybe you're behind. You may feel like that should have been yours, or this should have been mine, or where should I be? But the thing is that it's all planning out for you. It's all panning out for you. It's already planned for you. You don't have to do much. You just have to follow with what feels natural in the moment. Just let it come to you. That is, I think, it's difficult for someone who's not able to practice, but it's a little bit, well, it's a little bit easy at this point for you to just really, I think you would feel much better if you release that control to have this figured out, because this is not as bad as you're probably making it up to be. And I'm not invalidating your emotions. I'm pretty sure that this may be difficult for you, because you're somewhere you've never been before, right? But I think that the situation is not actually that bad, because the universe is literally like, I got your back, man. I'm doing everything. You're worrying for no reason. So probably deal with the insecurity or the anxiety that is coming up, and rest is all planned out for you. You'll be back in no time. Okay, so pile number 4, this was your reading. I'm gonna leave it here. I really do hope that this was helpful. If it was, please do hit the like button, subscribe for more, the bell icon, so whenever I upload next. Let me know down in the comment section how that resonated. Information for personal readings is given down below, and I'm gonna see you guys in another one. Bye bye.